We're in London, England this week. And enjoying ourselves, having a good time. And part of being here, of course, is riding the underground, meeting people, tasting food, which, as I must say, has been way better than advertised. Jesus. We've eaten some great food here. Drunk some great beers. Also watching television and reading the paper. I'm sitting here with the London Times, and to give you an idea of how long it's been since I've been in London, the last time I was here, the London Times was not a tabloid. It was what they call a broadsheet, you know, rather than being easy to fold and read. It was like the New York Times, the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal. Long pages. You have to constantly fold the paper over to read it. Or the Los Angeles Times, like that. The London Times is now a tabloid, like the New York Post. Not as gossipy as the New York Post, although I will say that since the last time I saw the London Times, it's gotten more like the New York Post than it's ever been before. Much, I'm sure, to the horror of people who live here. But they took up, and I'm not exaggerating, 2 full pages of the London Times. I've got it right here in front of me. 2 full pages for a story called Because We're Worth It, which is a response or a reference to the L'Oreal hair color ad. Clearly, we as women, we're worth it. Right. And the subheadline on this story, and I'm not going to bore you by reading you the story, but you'll get the idea, was who knows best how men can be chivalrous without being sexist? A woman, of course. So there is a guide to men how to be chivalrous, written by somebody named E. What is it about women who have a first name that's an initial? By the way, that's troubling. E. Jane Dixon. Yes. And all you need to do is look at the graphics in this article to have an idea of where the actual content is going. I mean, this article is not only way longer than it needs to be, but clearly, as you'll see, I completely disagree with the concept of it. The first page of the article has photographs, and again, this is an example of how the London Times has been dumbed down so chicks will read it, just like so many newspapers around the world. Lots of photos and cute captions. On the left page has 3 things men should not do to be more chivalrous. These are the wrong things. There's little X's on them. And then on the right page, it has 3 things men should do. And there's little check marks, so you know these are things you should do. Okay. On the first page where it says the things men should not do in their efforts to be more chivalrous. Wrong. Endless mobile use, or mobile as they would say here. Endless mobile use, meaning your cell phone. And there is a staged photograph of a guy lying on a bed in what looks like a hotel room, chatting on his cell phone while the chick sits there rolling her eyes on the bed. She might bad lay, or maybe she just gave him another reason why she wasn't going to put out. I look at this picture, I'm saying to myself, she just told him, oh, come on, let's wait. So he got on the phone, which is what I would do. Here's another one. Wrong. Turning up late. Like women never turn up late. Oh, don't be doing that. And there's a photograph of a woman living in an apartment that looks like it has to be paid for by a man. No woman can afford an apartment like this. And she's sitting alone at a table with empty wine glasses and plates in front of her, obviously waiting for her man to show up, and he hasn't shown up. Another stage photo. A third stage photo with an X on it says, wrong. Mauling isn't flirting. And there's a guy with his hand on some chick's thigh. How many of you do that? You know, when you're going to ask a chick out on a date, just grab her thigh. Now we get to the other page, and it has all the things you're supposed to do, men. This is what the writer in the London Times, E. Jane Dixon, this is what she says you should be doing to be more chivalrous. Right. Carry the bags. And it shows a chick standing there, you know, fiddling with her sunglasses while a guy is carrying 4 heavy suitcases. And he, of course, looks like he's happy to do it. He's smiling and looking at her while she's fiddling with her sunglasses and carrying absolutely nothing. Yes. Next one, right. Never go Dutch. And it looks like a photo of, yes, that's what it is. It's a photo of a guy signing the credit card receipt, and the credit card is sitting over the receipt. There he is paying. And finally, right, there they are out in the English countryside. Picture of them out in the English countryside, and he's opening the door, and it says, right, open the door for her. And there she is wearing like a little sun hat, and there he is staying there in his cardigan sweater and giving her his hand and guiding her out of the car. And all the reasons why chivalry is so important. Well, I have bad news for E.J. and Dixon and all the people who love to talk about chivalry. Chivalry is antiquated, and it's antiquated for a reason. Because back in the 70s, women said, we are equal. Equal. We want to be treated as equals. And I believe in treating women as equals, which means they can open their own doors. They can let themselves out of and into cars. They're big girls. They can pay their own way as often as possible. And frankly, it's not that I think that women should pay more often. I just think that we don't need to spend so much money to get to know each other. How about you let Poindexter in the IT department take you out to a nice meal, and then I'll meet you later. By the way, Poindexter, you know that time you were having dinner with her and she kept pulling the cell phone out of her purse? Hello? Oh, hi! Yes, I'm at dinner with a friend of mine. Can I call you back? That was me calling. Asking her when she was going to be done with you so she could then come over and have a drink with me and then do with me what she'll never do with you. Right? That's the bottom line. I mean, the fact is, women today, the younger they are, the more they like to hook up, the more they believe they are equal. I mean, you know, there's more women in colleges now than men. Why should men pay for everything? Ridiculous. In the United States, more women go to college than men. The college population is over 55% female now. So men should pay for everything? Oh, no. And we should open your car door for you? Why? Could you tell me exactly why we should do that, ladies? I'm just curious. Why should we do that? This makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to tell you something. I have absolutely no interest in treating you as anything but my equal. Now, when I'm hanging out with my crew, boys, do I open the door for you? Do I always say to you boys, hey, I'll pay for everything. Don't worry about it. I'll just pay for everything. No. You see, those little gestures that men did, ladies, I know you hate to think about this. Those little gestures that we did were in exchange for you doing gestures for us. Like making a meal once in a goddamn while. Like picking up our socks. Like taking our plates when we're done eating and sticking them at least in the dishwasher. If not right into the suds, okay? You see? But American women nowadays don't want to do any of that. And by the way, my experience in meeting women in England, same deal. Same thing. What you have is women who want to be treated as equals when it comes to getting jobs or getting into college or being considered for positions or being president or prime minister or whatever. Women want that. But then they want to be treated as special by men in addition to being treated equal in every other way. In what way do men get treated as special? The answer is none. I'm America's original feminist, so chivalry is not only dead, I'm taking a spade, I'm going to start burying it right now. It's done. We don't need books telling men how to be more chivalrous. Men need to be less chivalrous. Pay for less, do less, obey less, be less cooperative, be less predictable. Not be doing more. Men are not failing. This is another example. This article is an example of how, once again, we're being told as men we're failing at something. No. I see this article as success. I see this article as saying you boys are not being chivalrous, that you boys are embracing the equality that women demanded back in the 70s. And I don't see that we should change anything about it. Chivalry is dead and should be dead. Shouldn't it?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
I've called a couple doctors, and I didn't know they were Oriental. They had a normal name.
What's a normal name?
John or something, or Robert, or something that wasn't like Kung Shu or Hua Wang or something.
Oh, my God. Uh-huh.
Sorry, I'm not racist, but...
I know, I can tell.
It's the Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show from London, England. At 1-800-5800-TOM. 2 whole pages in the London Times devoted to chivalry. Telling men they need to be more chivalrous. Why? 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Pam on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How are you, Tom?
Fantabulous.
Wow, that's a switch, isn't it? And I do care. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I heard your comments on chivalry, and I had to call.
On what?
Say the word? Chivalry.
Chivalry. Okay.
Yes. I think you've lost your mind.
Lost my mind? How so, dear?
How could you possibly believe that it should be buried and men should do less and not more?
Because women are equal.
You know what? Somewhere along the line, that has gotten misconstrued.
No, I haven't misconstrued it. You want to be treated as equal when it comes to getting a job or going to school or becoming anything you want or being paid equally. And you don't want to have to make coffee for the men in the office. And you don't want to do dishes. And you don't want to do housework. But you do want to be treated as something special.
As a lady. And
well, guess what? I want to be treated as a man. And you know what a man gets? He gets a home-cooked meal when he comes home from work.
Right.
His socks are laundered and folded and put in a drawer. But you know what, dear? Most women today don't want to do any of that stuff. So my attitude about it is that's fine. It's an even trade. I'll give all that stuff up, but I'm not opening your car door for you. I'm not paying for anything, and I'm not going to do anything for you.
I feel for you, Tom, because, listen, don't generalize. All women are not that way.
I didn't use the word all, dear. I didn't use the word all. And that would be like saying all lottery tickets are losers. They aren't. There is a winner somewhere in there.
In general. You said women. You used the term women.
Because women in general, and generally women are like that.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That makes me sorry to call myself a woman then, because I am 52 years old, proud of it, very liberated, you might say, but I do still have those old-time values where I want to make...
Well, I don't know a lot of women who are liberated who want to fold my socks.
Well, I mean, do you throw them on the ground like a pig? And then
I throw them on the ground. Yes, I do. I throw them on the ground. Yes, I do.
Well, I think that's where the problem starts.
Oh, guess what? If I go out and I make more money than you do and you take half of everything I earn, that's a tax, okay? And in exchange for that tax, I want my socks laundered. I want you to bend down and pick them up and put them in the hamper and ultimately the laundry. And then when you take them out all springtime fresh, I want you to fold them and put them in a drawer where I can find them.
Oh, you know, you gotta love you, Tom. You really do.
I do. I love myself more than any woman, and I would never let some woman browbeat me into being chivalrous. It's never going to happen.
Oh, I think that's you.
And certainly not American women. I can tell you that right now. Never an American woman, because American women generally are bitches, and they don't want to do anything. I was with a woman one time who, when I would come home from work, I'd say, "What's for dinner?" She'd say, "Well, I was hungry. I already ate." That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. That's what's out there, dear. And even if you're not like that, the vast majority of your compatriots are like that.
Well, I'm glad I'm not, Tom. And I'm glad
but you understand that most women are, and just because you're not doesn't mean the others aren't.
Well, you know what? Maybe you're looking at the wrong kind of woman, Tom.
Dear, I'm looking at American women, and that's why I don't date American women anymore.
Well, I beg to differ, but your show is awesome anyway, and so are you.
It is. Yes, I agree with that.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to me. I listen
Thank
to you.
you. Appreciate the call. Oh, wait. Are you still there? Before you go, wait a minute. Before you go, we have Nima. Nima wanted to say something here to you. Nima, what did you want to say to Pam?
All right, Pam, listen, bitch. I've tried to be chivalrous. I've tried to do nice things for women. They don't appreciate it. And since they don't appreciate anything, I'm not going to go out of my way to be polite and a gentleman and hold the door for them and all that crap, because you're just going to get it all thrown back in your face. It's not worth it.
Wrong. You know what? Maybe you're looking at the wrong kind of woman. Maybe you're not looking inside. Maybe you're looking at the outside of what you want, and you're trying to make her something that she's not.
You can't have sex with the inside. You have to get aroused by looking at the outside.
Honey, I don't know about you, but that's where I look for it, is deep inside. Okay?
Well, that's wonderful,
inside. Their brains
but if the outside package isn't worth looking at, I'm not going to be going deep inside. I'm going to be staying outside.
Exactly.
Well, guess what? You get the whole package with me. And maybe I'm a very rarity, okay, and proud of it, but I'm a
very rarity, yes.
I'm still going to say that I was, you know, one thing, I think I was raised as a spiritual woman. I do believe that in the spiritual aspect of there is something bigger than us, and I'm a very small part of it, and I like to do the best I can do in my little small part, which is to give back and treat like I would like to be treated.
Really?
And, you know, yes.
So if you left skid marks, you'd like yours cleaned up, right? And I think that's how men feel.
I would like what, Tom? I'm sorry, I didn't hear
You'd like
that.
those skid marks cleaned up after you, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, man, let's don't go there, but just say that I believe that there is a better...
Is there a woman out there who wouldn't like to have her skid marks cleaned? Come on.
In fact, you know what? That just comes all in the give and take. Who may be doing the skid marks one day might be funded on the next. The other one might be willing. It's a give and take.
No, but it's not a give. No, because the give and take works like this. Generally, men make more money than women do. So my attitude about that is if I bring home more money than you do more stuff at home. That's it.
Well, okay. It's kind of a narrow-minded way of looking at it, kind of a closed-minded way of looking at it.
It's absolutely fair. If I bring home more money, you have more responsibilities at home. I have more responsibilities out of the home. You have more in the home.
What if you work, too, and you can't help it if you don't make as much as you? And
you can help it.
In 8 hours.
What? You can help it. You can help it, dear. Get some more education. Work harder. Work more hours. Work every day like men do.
And then you still want what, you know, see how much harder we have to try to become even what you claim you can do very easily?
Oh, boo-hoo-hoo. You have to try hard. I'm sorry for you.
Oh, man, there is no compassion in your tone. And there is
no, there isn't.
Open-mindedness.
But being open-minded to having an unfair situation where you get more out of it than I do? No, I'm not open-minded to that.
You've been terribly burned in your life, haven't you, Tom?
Everybody with a penis has been terribly burned, dear.
Oh, Tom, you know
Many
what?
of them right on the penis, huh?
You gotta love you. I mean, I have
yes, you do.
Even at your insanity, I must laugh.
There's no insanity there, dear. I believe in total equality. I'm the original feminist.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. It seems to be jading you somewhat. I hope that you can get...
Oh, no. I love equality. I think equality is fantastic. When will you be taking me to dinner, by the way? And paying for it? I won't hold my breath. Janelle on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Tom?
Fantastic.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Happy Monday to you. Just a couple of thoughts on your subject matter. I just got off work, and I just happened to catch the tail end of the skid mark comment and other things. I'm a single parent. I'm engaged. I work 2 jobs.
Why'd you do that?
Because I'm self-sufficient. I do my own laundry.
Well, if you have to work 2 jobs, that's not self-sufficient. That means now you have no time for the child that you fabricated.
No, I did not fabricate. Fabricated, I see made. I see what you're saying. No, my kids they're in school, and they're doing really well. I pick them up after 5. I just occasionally, when they're with their dad, because I'm divorced, the 2 nights a week they're with him, I cocktail waitress out here in Las Vegas.
Mm.
So but my thought on that is my fiance does not work. He doesn't have to. But
See,
he sits on his
what do you
ass
mean he doesn't?
all
Wait.
day.
What do you mean he doesn't have to?
He's got money.
All right, so he's bringing more to the party than you do.
No, he's not. He pays the bills with his bills. I pay my bills. I make my car payment. He doesn't have
Really?
one.
Do you live in his house?
Yes, I do.
Who pays the mortgage payment?
I pay half.
Really?
Yes,
Who pays the electric bill?
I pay half.
Who pays the cell phone bill?
I pay my own. He pays his phone.
So you pay 50% of everything.
Yes, sir.
I find this hard to believe.
I'm serious. I'm dead serious. And I'll tell you what, as far as that laundry crap goes, I almost said the S word, sorry. The laundry stuff about folding and all that stuff, no. I don't deal with skid marks.
I'll bet you don't.
Laundry.
And that's why does he need to marry you? He could take care of that stuff on his own right now. He doesn't need you. And then your kids coming in there and mucking up his place? What does he need that for?
Hey, my kids are good, and I'm a vesicle for him. You know what I mean.
Blah. You're a vessel for him, maybe. But seriously speaking, what does he need to marry you for?
Because he loves me, and I take care
he
of
can
my
love
kids.
you he can love you without signing a contract to give you money.
Why are you so against marriage, Tom? You've been married
Because it's
times?
a contract to give you money.
I'm not
for
asking
doing,
for
and by the way, in your case, for doing absolutely nothing.
You know what? I keep the house clean. I do my laundry. I do my girls' laundry.
Unless it's skid marks or socks or things you don't want to clean up.
I don't think I need to do that. That's not my job.
That's my point. Well, guess what? If I'm paying for everything, guess what? It is your job.
But I'm not paying. He's not paying for everything, and he sits there and plays Xbox and PlayStation 2 all day.
By the way, which bothers you. That's why you bring it up. And why would you marry a guy if that kind of thing bothers you? Because it's not going to stop when you get married. I'm telling you right now.
I know. I heard that. I made a mistake once, and I'm certainly trying to revisit
You're
my
going to
thoughts.
do it again. You're going to do it again. You're going to marry a guy. You're already bitching. You're already nagging him. You're already complaining. You're already doing it. Do yourself a favor. Do not marry the guy.
Okay, so that's your piece of advice for me today?
Yes, because you are under the delusion that you are somehow going to change him or that he's miraculously going to change into what you want. And instead of playing Xbox, he'll be taking you to Cirque du Soleil. And it's just not going to happen.
All right, Tom. I'm going to listen to you. I listen to you all the time. I don't always agree, but you do make me laugh, so I thank you.
Well, you do.
That.
But, dear, I'm not just doing this for entertainment purposes. I'm dead serious. You don't hear me. You're getting married to a guy. You are getting married to a guy, and you're already pissed off that he's playing Xbox all the time, and you're so pissed off you've told it to a complete stranger.
On the air. So, yeah,
on the
air.
So do you understand? You are clearly not happy with that.
You're right. You know, I'm thinking about it. It's I don't know. I still got myself together. I still look good, and after 2 children.
Well, why are you getting married to him?
I know.
Well, if you know it, why are you doing it?
Well, listen, Tom. Okay, we've been together for 3.5 years. Okay, so we've been through a lot of ups and downs, and
so you invested in a bad stock. The stock has gone down, and you could sell the stock now and take just a small loss. But rather than that, you say, well, I've invested in it for 3 years. I can't sell it now. So let's say your stock was named instead of, what's his name?
His name is Cisco.
Okay, so instead of Cisco, his name is Enron. Okay, so you own stock, but you've owned it for so long, you say, I can't sell it now. I've owned it for 3 years. Then eventually it goes down to zero. Wouldn't you have been better off selling and taking a small loss rather than waiting for it to go all the way down to zero?
I gotcha. I understand. I mean, I don't know. It's sad, but it's sad but true. But you're right, and I agree with you. I mean, I'm not one of those angry broads out there that just doesn't want to do anything. I take
and
care
then
of my
on top of that, you get to expose your kids to this guy who does nothing but sit and play Xbox all day, and that's going to be their example of what a man does when he grows up. He doesn't go to college. He doesn't work. They never saw your boyfriend work or your fiancé work. They see him sitting home playing Xbox while you go out and cocktail waitress. And what do you think that's going to be for them?
Right. I didn't waste my college degree. I have a good day job. And,
well, dear, if you're a cocktail waitress, there is some wastage there.
Well, it's good money. I'm half Japanese. They throw me in the baccarat room and make me put more eyeliner on, and so I look more Asian. And It works, but it's getting old, and I'm getting tired, and but I'm not a hot commodity as far as who wants to date a 30-year-old woman with two little kids.
That's why you're marrying him. The wheel stopped on him. You spun the wheel, and finally, after years and years,
right,
Cisco.
Yeah, but what do you suggest?
That sounds like true love to me.
You are a hoot. I'll tell you what, one thing, though, is I've listened to you for years, and when they took you off the radio in Vegas for a little bit, I had to seek you out, and I found you. So thank God for you. I really appreciate
thank
it.
You.
And
now that we've spoken to you, now we can see why you don't expect chivalry. Now we can see.
Right? I don't know.
Now, I'm just imagining this. There you are working 2 jobs, and he's sitting home playing Xbox all day, and you are resentful. Of course, he earned the right to sit home and play Xbox all day.
Right. He did.
By the way, did he meet you at the baccarat table? Is that where he met you?
No, I actually met him at his restaurant.
Wait, you were the cocktail waitress? You were a waitress at his restaurant, right?
No, I actually just used to eat there. I used to eat there when I was married and pregnant. I ate there every 3 days when I was pregnant. I used to go there all the time.
So you went there with your ex-husband?
Yes.
And then eventually, when things didn't work out with him, you went right to him.
I went back there to eat. I'd only seen him a couple times over the course of 5 years, probably. And then I went back there one day, and he was short-staffed, so he had to wait on me and my kids. So, okay, I know what you're going to say. Hey, do you guys have a way of taking me out OJ style? Because I just want to tell you real quick. I'm just going to tell you, I had to go to the courthouse to get some paperwork done for my license, and the OJ was in jail out here. And you want to talk about a media circus. It took me 7 hours to get one piece of paper. I am so pissed off.
Well, he took Nicole out OJ style. Why can't we take you out OJ style?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
I had a girl ask me the typical, what am I to you? And I go, what are my options? And she says, well, you can be my fiance, my girlfriend, my F buddy. And I go, I think you're my F buddy, so get the F out.
The Tom Leykis Show.
From London, England, the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. 2 pages of the Times of London, wasted, telling men they need to be more chivalrous and giving examples of how they need to be more chivalrous. Screw that. Julie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello.
Is that a question or a statement?
It's a statement. Hey, I was just listening to your show, and I think you made a really good point to the last speaker. But I happen to work, I happen to give half and half of everything in my home, and I wash the laundry, take out the skid marks, cook dinner every night, make breakfast every morning.
Very good.
I even have sex whenever my husband wants to. And
well, I'll bet all your American female friends are all, upset. Why are you doing all that for him?
I do it out of respect and love, but I think at some point, you want to have the old-fashioned values and the old-fashioned, but it's getting to a point where I think, hey, I'm putting in a lot, and I want you to, like you said, if you're paying the money, it's a fee, but what about the woman? I'm giving half of the mortgage, half of the light bill, half of the food. Wow, you're paying half of everything, too? I pay half of everything. I have my 2 children from a previous marriage. He has 3 children from a previous marriage, all living under our roof. And I pay everything for my kids, my own daycare, my own everything. Very good. But I think that it's very good for the guy, but what about for me?
What are you not getting?
Well, I mean, if, like you're saying, that's part of paying a fee. If the guy makes more money, gives more money to the house, then the woman, does her womanly duties. Well, isn't the man's duty to protect and to support and to take care of financially? Well, put it this way, dear. Even if he's not doing it now, if you divorce him, you're going to take half of everything he's earning right now. But that's something that I agreed to not do in the beginning when we got married. So you have a prenuptial agreement? We do. Really? Yeah. Wow, and you didn't put a house... He was in a previous marriage, so I agree that anything, I would not try to take that and take permission.
Why is it that women think that a prenup is okay if there was a previous marriage, but if there were no previous marriages, it's not okay?
I think it's okay to keep what you earned before. I mean, even if he didn't have a previous marriage,
it should be okay to keep what you earned, period. You should be able to keep what you earn, and he should be able to keep what he earns.
I totally agree. I agree. Even if he didn't have a previous marriage, whatever he earns is his, and he earned it. And the same like me, whatever I earned is mine.
Right.
So it makes sense.
So where you made a mistake is you didn't put the housework. What do you want him to do, housework?
I do everything from I cook breakfast every morning, and then I leave to work, and I come home, and I make dinner, and I clean every room, except for the kids' rooms, they each clean their own, and so on weekends,
So he doesn't do anything. He doesn't lift any heavy objects.
Yeah, but how heavy are objects and how often do you do that? Like
I don't know.
Tells me, well, I take your car to get a tune-up, but I pay for my own tune-up. And I go with him to take my car.
He takes it in?
No, I take it in with him.
Well, the two of you go together. That's so romantic. What else? Does he do any yard work? I don't know if you own a house. Does he do any yard work?
No yard work. We pay someone with half and half to pay for the yard work.
And so you've explained all this to him, that everything is 50-50, and he should be doing 50% of whatever has to be done. And what does he say?
He said that that's the woman's job.
No, this is stuff you should have talked about before you married him, dear.
I agree. I should have, and I didn't.
And with a prenup, you should have put it in there.
I should have. And so I guess I'm calling to say that, if a man's wanting a woman to do those things, he has to also be willing to.
No, he doesn't. No, he has to be willing to negotiate what is fair to both parties. And then if both parties don't like the agreement, then they should part ways.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, I haven't met a woman who will pay half of everything. I haven't met one.
I do. I pay half. We.
So my attitude about it is any woman who's ever with me is going to be cooking and cleaning and staying home and waiting for the UPS guy to come and all the things I can't do.
Right.
She doesn't like it, she can hit the road.
Yeah, I think that if a woman, for example, the lady that was talking earlier, she made it's not going to change. If she gets married, that piece of paper is not going to make a difference.
By the way, dear, you didn't have to move in with him. You didn't have to marry him. You could have dated him. Your kids could have gotten along together. You could have had your own place. If his place is a mess, that'll be his problem.
Right.
You could have done that.
He does pick, for example, he doesn't throw his socks on the floor or things like that. He puts it into a laundry area, so that is some men.
All right. So you trained him. You cracked the whip over him.
No, I mean, I think that's something he just did on his own over time.
Right.
But I agree. If whatever your agreement is before you get married, it's not going to change. And so, like you said, if you don't like it, then you part your own ways.
Or you should have made a better agreement, which you didn't.
I should have made a better agreement. But there are women out there, Tom, that do give half and that cook and clean. And
there just aren't many of them, and most of them are fat or fugly or both.
I don't think I'm either. But
I didn't say you are. I said most of them are.
Right.
I don't know what you are. Most of them are.
Right. That was just my comment for today. Well,
okay.
They're out there.
Well, we'll see. Speaking of which, Luann on the Tom Leykis show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, second time calling in, long time listener. I just wanted to point out that I'm another one that pays more than 50-50. And I think what's sad is that, Women's Lib kind of set us up for that. No, I'm pro-Women's Lib. It freed us to do more work. It didn't free us to get help with the work that already existed. And I think you're right. We should have been negotiating better contracts.
Well, you girls wanted equality. I'm happy to give it to you.
Well, equality in the work that we do and the pay that we get for it, which still isn't there. And I don't think equality is having a 10-hour job and then going home to a job at home where...
Well, dear, you would have had that anyway. By the way, if you were alone, you'd have to do that anyway. You know what, dear? I live alone. And I have a job. So when I come home, who do you think makes dinner? I do. Who do you think puts out the garbage? I do. Who do you think does the laundry? I do. Who do you think neatens things up? Who do you think puts the socks in the hamper? I do.
Yes, but it's only, it's only one person. You
but the point is,
times a family,
but come on.
That's a huge job. I think the women of this country need more credit. You know, you're down
they get
on
enough
a lot,
credit.
And I guess you've had really bad experiences. I know you've heard that.
I mean, now no one can complain that I do less than half. I do 100% of everything. My house is spotless, and nobody ever nags me, complains, or tells me how inadequate I am.
Well, like I'm saying, you're not doing as much
fantastic.
work as a woman is who's raising children and a husband. You know,
yeah, but again, dear, did someone put a gun to your head and force you at gunpoint to get married?
No, but I'm just saying they are doing the work. They are doing the work.
Who wanted to get married?
Well, you mean in my situation?
Yes.
We both did. We wanted children. We didn't want to do that without a piece of paper.
All right. Well, you could have said no.
Yeah, but I believe in family. I do. I think it's a good thing. And it's a lot of work. Love is work. You know, people don't like to hear that.
Well, dear, it doesn't have to be work. You chose work, okay?
I think
I do my work. I do my work at work. And when I come home, I enjoy my time. Or I spend 7 weeks in Europe like I have since July. And it's fantastic.
I've done a lot of traveling. I've been to Europe. I've been to China. I've been to Japan. I've been to Morocco.
5 kids?
I've been a lot of places.
Did you bring all your kids?
Yes.
Oh, boy, I bet that was a blast.
Oh, it was great. There were only 2 kids, and they learned a lot. I'm a teacher, so, it worked out okay.
All
they learned a lot.
But you understand you didn't have to get married.
Well, I guess I'm old school. I just couldn't do that. I couldn't create 2 little human beings who are innocent.
Oh, I'm not suggesting you do. I'm just simply saying you didn't have to do that.
No, but I guess.
But you see, your whole whine here is based on the fact that you can't make him do what you think he should be doing.
That was the last caller. I'm just saying that women are doing it. I mean, as much as you don't believe that, this lady before me and we're doing it. We're trying.
And you're complaining about it.
Just saying that women don't get enough credit.
Well, but you're complaining
that women don't get enough credit.
Well, then, guess what? You didn't have to get married and have kids with this guy. You could have not done that. You did it because you wanted to. Now enjoy it.
Tom, you need to admit that there are some good women out there who are trying to do what you're saying men want.
Doing it and whining about it is just as bad as not doing it.
Well, you might have a point there.
I think I do. That's enough. I've run out of time here for this hour. Our email address is my name. It's tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.